Hi there and welcome to this live stream. My name is Ben Stubbs and this is a flamenco guitar lesson that I'm going to be giving here live for any beginners. And if you'd like at any time, just comment into the comment field and ask any questions that you have right now or anytime during the lesson. So let's just jump right in. So we're going to go use a guide that I have that you can get if you just want it. Just send me an email at ben@flamencoforyou.com and I'll get it right back to you. Let me bring it up here. I'll share my screen so you can see it. What we're going to go over is class teaches you how to strum and use the chord progression of the Andalusian cadence. Sorry. Another cup of coffee, please. So welcome to this lesson, this live stream lesson. Once again, if you have any questions, just shoot them down in the comments and I'll address them. So in this lesson, we're going to be working on one of the most important foundations of flamenco rhythm playing. It's a 3-part rasgueado pattern called PMAI. So that's thumb, M, A. So the middle finger and the A finger working together, and I. So just to show you, you've got thumb down, M-A down, followed by I down, right? So whenever I say M-A, we're using the 2 fingers together as a weighty kind of combination rather than just using your A finger or just using your M finger. We use them in tandem. So just remember that 3-finger pattern, thumb, M-A, and index for this particular strumming pattern. So this is a core movement, I would say, and it appears constantly in flamenco accompaniment and solo playing. Developing comfort and consistency with it will open the door to a lot of repertoire and rhythmic confidence. If you can get this down, it's really going to get you prepared for a lot of the flamenco repertoire, right? You'll be working from the tablature and standard notation provided, which I'll show you in this lesson as well. And the exercise is written in 4/4 time and spans 8 bars using the classic Andalusian cadence. So I call that classic because that's fundamental chord progression in flamenco. If you've got that chord progression, then you've got basically the whole world of flamenco at your fingertips. Yeah, you know, in modern flamenco now, they interject a lot of kind of different chords in between that chord progression. But at its fundamental basis, that's a chord progression, the Andalusian cadence. So repeat that after me. Andalusian cadence. In this case, we're going to use it in A minor. So we get your first chord, then G, in this case G7, F, and E. So just think about those notes. A, G, F, E. Okay. And now the chords that you play, I would say the E position, the shape, the form is the easiest, right? So we'll use that. We'll bring it all the way up here to the A minor, starting there. And before we get that far, let's go ahead and continue just on the strumming pattern. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. So here's the breakdown of the strumming pattern. This pattern uses 3 distinct movements, just like I told you. The thumb goes down, the M-A down, and I down. So it sounds like this, holding the A minor chord, P, M-A, and I. So what did you notice difference between the P and the M-A and the I? If you're listening carefully, you hear that the thumb slowly strums down. And I'm trying to grab more of the bass strings and go soft on the treble strings. And I allow the M-A to brisk, when I say brisk, kind of swiftly flow along the strings, as well as the I finger, right? The intensity between the M-A and the I is pretty similar, right? So those are the difference between the strums. Slight difference. So first, the thumb downstroke. Your thumb plays the downstroke across the strings, of course. Although the thumb will contact all the strings, your intention should be to bring the strings, particularly the bass strings, like I said, out. They should shine, they should growl. You want to think of this as producing a gentle, supportive growl, like I said, in the low end rather than the harsh, aggressive attack. So it's not going to match the M and the A and the I. Those are more aggressive, right? More springy, more pinza, not so much suelta. This bass emphasis should happen on the first half note of every bar. That means each new chord begins with a grounded, rhythmically clear bass presence that helps anchor the groove. So if I count 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and around that 1, we're going to start the whole cycle over again with a nice bass resonating throughout the whole time. Now the second one, MA. Let's go back here, page 1. The ring and the middle fingers extend outward together. So like I said, they are kind of bound together and they move together. They strike the strings in a fluid motion. So you want to keep the hand relaxed and allow the fingers to just naturally open from the palm rather than forcing them. You're not going to see just them moving like this by themselves. You're going to see all the fingers going out. And so it looks just like I'm strumming all the strings with all the fingers. But if you pay close attention, you'll see just the M and A are making the contact with the strings. Does that make sense? So all the fingers move together, the index along with the pinky finger. And if you have any questions during this, just shoot it in the comments and I'll answer your questions. Don't be shy. And finally, the number 3, the index finger downstroke. The index finger follows as the final stroke of the pattern. This stroke helps complete the rhythmic flow and prepares your hand to reset for the next cycle. Allow your index finger to remain in a naturally relaxed recoil position just after having struck the strings with the M and A fingers until it becomes the index's turn to strum. So that means that you're going to have the index finger still recoiled, ready to go, not extended yet after you hit the M and A. So see how it's still recoiled? It's not extended, right? It kind of flexes out, relaxed with the M and A's, but it's still ready to go behind the 6th string. Does that make sense? And moreover, the quality of the sound, the strumming sound, matches the M and A pretty much. So your musical and technical focus, where should it be? Well, your primary goal for this exercise, or rather your goals, are to maintain a steady rhythmic consistency in the 4/4 time signature. That should be easy enough, right? We're familiar with that. Develop clear separation between each finger movement. Get the feel of it as you go through each movement. Take it slow. Keep it separated. They're not supposed to bleed together. They're not supposed to like that. They're supposed to be distinct from another, right? Also, keep the right hand relaxed and efficient, giving momentum to the fingers. Use your wrist. Don't use your hand or your forearm to strum like this. Use your wrist rotation like that to strum. Otherwise, the fingers are going to get misplaced, and that's an unfortunate situation that you won't want to get. Create a strong but controlled bass string emphasis on the first half note of each measure. So when I say half note, I mean the first beat that has a half note value. Finally, maintain clean, solid tone while holding the full bar chords throughout the progression, meaning that look out for any buzzing. So if you hear buzzing anywhere in the chord, you want to figure out where that buzzing is coming from. And the best way to figure out where it's coming from is to test each string at a time. Okay, well, we're hearing buzzing on the 6th string and the 5th string. D string's fine. We're hearing a complete muting on the 3rd string, buzzing on the B string, and it's a mess. So we've got a lot of work to do. So go by each one, push it harder in that spot. Okay, this is gonna be the third finger holding that down. Get that down tight. This is gonna be the first finger on the third string. Get that. Pat down like that, right here. This area of the finger needs to be flexed more. And make sure to get that E note down by either squeezing this part or bringing your elbow back for that leverage that you can get at this part of the finger for the bar chord. A lot of people think when they're first starting the guitar that they need to squeeze the heck out of it. But really, yes, you do have to squeeze it. But you can use leverage with your elbow, bringing it back. You really aren't squeezing it harder per se. You're just giving more force to that part of the hand just by pulling it back, not necessarily having to squeeze it really hard. And I'd say, like, especially when it comes to the F chord, people get freaked out there because they think that you have to squeeze really hard. Really, the problem there is that you're just not leveraging right. You should bring the elbow out a little bit to get more pressure for the third and fourth fingers, and bring the elbow back this way to get more pressure on the E string, the high E string. All right, so let's look at the tablature and look at these chords. Once again, this is the chord progression of the Andalusian cadence. So our first chord is A minor. So that's going to be along the 5th fret, and you bar it. You can always get some reinforcement with that bar chord by pressing down with your middle finger if you put more force there, right? It's a little bit of a cheat. You're going to need it back by the time you get to the next chord for G major, however. So you're going to have to forego that use of the second finger for that bar chord once you get to the G major chord, of course. And if you have any questions, just comments. I'll be here for just a few more minutes. 1 second. You know what? I'm going to plug in this computer. It's not plugged, and it's going to die. 1 second. The joys of live streaming. Yeah. All right. So once again, if you're just joining us here in the string, we're just doing this live stream lesson just for fun. And if you're interested in doing lessons and getting one-on-one support with me, just go ahead and give me an email at ben@flamencoforyou.com, and we'll connect on a call and see if what I got is a good fit for you. All right, so coming back here, holding our bar chord along the 5th fret. You got your third finger on the 7th fret of the A string, your fourth finger on also the 7th fret now of the D string, and then you strum down your first movement with a thumb, and MA, and then I. And notice it starts from the 5th string, so you're not going to be hitting the 6th string, right? Obviously. The second bar, you're going to see those marks that just mean that you're going to duplicate exactly the movement that you did in the first bar. So it's thumb, M, I, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that, okay? We get down to the next one, G major, okay? So this is pretty basic stuff. And if this is too beginner for you, I apologize. This is a lesson for absolute beginners, basically. G major. Bar 4. Okay, now bar 5. Now we get to the F major chord, the dreaded bar chord of F major. So this is the E form, meaning that you see this shape right here. See how they're the same between the F and the E? Look at these two. They're the exact same shape, except the F's got this black bar. That's your first finger doing that. When you move down half a step to E, you no longer need that first finger because it's all open strings, this E note and this B note and this E note on the first string. And that's the E form. So you just keep that throughout the whole chord progression. You don't have to learn anything new. except for the A minor. You just minus the second finger there, right? Because that was a little bit different. So if you look at that, compare that A minor, a little bit different, right? You're missing the second finger on the 6th fret of the G string. Okay. Next, F major. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So that was bars 5 and 6. Now bars 7 and 8. We have E major. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. So there you go. That is the exercise. So your tempo goal, rather the timing, right, is going to be a long-term tempo target of 260 beats per minute. And this is fast and should be approached gradually, start at a tempo, I would say, where you can maintain complete control, clarity, and relaxation. Speed should only increase when the movement feels reliable and tension-free. So 260 beats per minute, what does that sound like, really? Let's just look at a metronome. Let's use my metronome app. And we'll put that at 200. What was it again? 260? I'm sorry. 260 beats per minute. Sorry, lost my train here. 260. Let's set it. Well, cut that in half, basically. Okay, so 260. Let's do a little math here. 130. Okay, so 130. Dun, 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 dun. Thanks for hanging in here. Dun, 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 dun. So that would be the goal. You're potentially the fastest beats per minute that you could do for that particular cadence or that particular rhythm that would sound good. Anything after that would get a little bit ridiculous for that particular strumming pattern. You'd have to change it up a little bit as far as the fingers are concerned. Let's jump back real quick towards the end of our lesson guide. Thanks for holding on this long. Musical mindset. So rather than thinking of this as just a technical drill, think of it as a way to build rhythmic intuition or your rhythmic engine inside. The Andalusian cadence is one of the most recognizable harmonic movements in flamenco. No matter what genre you hear it in, you recognize what it is. You know, you hear Walk, Don't Run. You know, the surf song? That's Andalusian cadence. You know it when you hear it. So this particular rasgueado, it helps bring that progression to life with the drive of flamenco, and it gives it its character. So focus on producing a balanced sound where the bass gives weight to the rhythm while the upper strings add brightness and movement. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you got a lot out of it or anything out of it, you can check more out at flamencoforyou.com. And to go get my different tutorials that you see in my YouTube channel, you can go over to Flamenco for You school page now is over there. And all my courses that you see that on my YouTube page, you can access those, including the Entre los Aguas and this new one of Mediterranean Sonnets by Paco de Lucia and Aldemiola. And with that, once again, if you have any questions, just shoot them in the comments later. We're finished with this live stream. So until the next time, we'll see you then. In the meantime, take care.